Hello, everybody. Hello, Gnomad Nation, and welcome back to another episode of the Gnomad Gamers Podcast.
Number 10.
This is number 10. Number 10. And is it a... Oh boy, is this going to be one of the episodes ever. It's not what I've been looking forward to, but we've done the due diligence, and we've, as we've stated, there are going to be some games either other Nomad's going to have to stomach. This is one Fireball and I had to stomach. Godfather enjoyed that every single moment of it.
You're forgetting something.
You are.
No, I'm not forgetting anything. It's called an intro. Now, with that being said,
Christ, him and his
for
intro.
those of you on Facebook, thank you. I didn't look at the like count or the follower count. Usually, that's Fireball who does that every single time, but that's okay.
Slacker.
Hey, guess what? I've already got it pulled up, dickhead.
Hey.
Whoa!
Asshole, there's a difference.
Yeah.
We're sitting at 17 likes and 47 followers.
Yeah, another follower.
Yeah, another
Thank
follower.
you. See, we always
Somebody
appreciate you
out there, thank you.
coming in
You're
and
beautiful.
watching our content. We appreciate that. For those of you on YouTube, like, comment, and subscribe. Give us feedback. Give us anything.
Something.
Give us some love.
Give us some love. Now, with that being said, I have with me, as I've already stated, Fireball, and as always, the lovely Godfather. And we are today talking about...
Just go and say it. Just say it.
One of the best games in the Bethesda portfolio.
It's one of the games of all time.
Yes.
Definitely a game that has been made.
Yep.
Starfield.
Beautiful game.
Dumpster fire.
Beautiful game.
It looks good, actually.
It's a good...
Graphically, it does look good.
Hey, Mr. Technology.
No, he's not Mr. Technology. It's okay.
Yeah, he is.
He's the Minister of Technology. There's a
Okay,
difference.
yeah.
There's a difference.
Because he can be fired.
Like every government position. So, we are talking about the flow of story and gameplay.
Yes.
Oh.
Fireball, why don't you start us off?
Yeah, Fireball. Start us off,
buddy.
Yeah, start us off.
Just a disclaimer, I'm the one with the least amount of gameplay in this series. I literally just started...
Sound off like you got us set, son.
Son?
Yeah, because he's older than you. Remember, he's geriatric.
Yeah.
Geriatric.
You've never watched... You've never watched
I keep
Full Metal
saying
Jacket?
Different every
Geriatric.
You're geriatric.
I don't give a damn. Come on, sound off like you got us set.
Come on.
All right. I'm the one with the least amount of playing time.
Mhm.
So I am not the one who should be the... I'm not going to be talking the most for once.
Holy shit.
But from what I've gotten from the gameplay and the story it drags very much.
You haven't even
Be more
scratched.
specific.
Yeah,
be specific.
you haven't even
So
scratched the
I have-
Be
surface of it.
specific.
I have done
What level did you get to?
I'm at level 10.
There you go.
Ooh,
That's like 5 hours into the game.
not even.
Maybe 3.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Maybe 3 hours into the
3
game.
hours into the game. That's a slow pace right there. For
That is...
Bethesda time.
Yeah. I have done,
Very
I believe, 8 or 9 quests.
Now,
For-
did you do
No.
main quest or did you do side?
Side quests and
Okay.
main quests.
Okay.
Hold on. Do you know the difference between the main quest
Yes,
and the
I
side quest?
do.
Okay.
Well, because
The main quest-
I was just saying, I'm not,
Well, no, the UI tells you.
Yeah, the
It
UI
actually
tells you which
you.
but
one.
I'm not trying to be an ass.
No,
But there are things with
Because, I mean-
Constellation that are
No, I've
side
been,
quests as well.
I've
You
been
pick
going-
up from-
That's what we're saying in the tab.
I've been going
quest
after the
tab.
artifacts.
Yeah.
That's the main quest.
That is the main quest.
I've been going after the artifacts. I think the only other side quests I've done are the UC or not the UC Rangers, the 3-star Rangers.
And I would argue that's almost like a mainline one too, but they put it down as
I think faction.
Yeah.
I'll consider faction quest
Yeah.
lines to be main quests in and of themselves. I think that's
I've done
fair.
a few of the because I did a lot of planet exploring too. The first thing I did when I got to pass the tutorial and started being able to go on my own is the first thing I did is I went to the Sol system.
Mhm.
And I wanted to see what Earth looked like. I wanted to
oh,
see
they
what
fucked Earth up.
Oh, Earth is frozen.
It's not frozen.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not. It's all sand. I don't know where the hell you landed.
When I did a planet scan, there were
No.
a lot of...
Did you land?
No, all I did was a planet scan.
Okay.
It said it was
No, there's
ice and
actually
stuff.
multiple quests that take you to
Earth.
Earth. And there's one that takes you to Mars, and I'm sure you've already been through that one.
Well, the thing is I went to the like one of the first quests.
Takes you to Mars and Neptune.
Yep, takes you to Mars and Neptune. Yep. Again, here's a bit of a story. Chungus was watching me play, and I think I was about to send him to an insane asylum because I was very.
You were about to send me to one too when I was watching.
As the young kids say nowadays, I was about to crash out.
Yeah,
I was tweaking.
Yeah,
not very smart when it comes to the game.
No, you're not.
You're new.
But that you know what though? Hey,
you're new.
You know what though? That is, I wouldn't expect anything else, and that's one of my critiques about this game. Is they take you through the tutorial,
and then
they let you loose, and they don't even teach you everything. So you're literally floating around space, trying to figure out what in the fuck you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, considering the fact I didn't even know how to use a flashlight.
Yeah,
he didn't actually. I remember there was a quest. He was like, "Man, he was about to."
It'd be nice to have a flashlight.
This game is so dark.
I need a flashlight.
I need a flashlight. We're like, you have a flashlight. Turn it on. Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah,
and I know it's different for everybody because some people like to start a game after they look at the control scheme of what.
I think my biggest problem is when I started playing Starfield, I was looking at it through the eyes of a Fallout player.
Yeah, so was I.
And it plays nothing like Fallout.
Actually, it does.
It plays exactly like Fallout.
It does exactly like it,
and I think that's.
And
we'll get into
and that. You are a perfect example of something I'm going to be bringing up here in a few minutes.
All right. Well, somebody go out. Let's go ahead and take over.
So while I'm on that thought, while Starfield does have major flaws with it, I think all of the hate is because everybody wanted this to be like a Fallout and not what it came to be. Like you can go through all these worlds and all these star bases or star stations, and you can loot the hell out of them, but you can't break that loot down. There is no scrapping. So then you have to be very smart with what you pick up, because just like in Fallout, the vendor will run out of credits.
Credits, caps, etc. Yeah.
And if you're a player like me who I don't buy ammo from a vendor. I literally use the most popular type of ammo out there, which is the 7.77. That and 6.5 is probably the most popular, most used ammunition in that game. Mm-hmm. Starfield, heads and tails, is a absolutely awesome game. And you guys can make all the faces. However, it's getting shit on for one reason. Because it's being shit on because it's not a Fallout.
It's not. For me personally, that's not why I'm shitting on this game. Because to me, this is what they tried to do, which is a sci-fi Fallout game. Is what it feels like. It feels like a fresh coat of paint on what 4 has already done, but then it tends to do it worse. Because in Fallout,
I think it does it better.
Gunplay wise, it's actually a bit better. I'm not going to lie to you. It's actually a bit better. I don't like the way they do the skills and how you level up.
Oh, I love that.
I absolutely despise it.
I like that
because it's just an extra layer of grind for no reason.
No, not really.
It is. You have to do challenges to unlock the next tier of
But that's the thing is, I like the difference between Fallout's perk system and Starfield's system. Because in Starfield, you actually have to get the challenges done in order to move up. And they're not hard challenges.
No, but that's my point.
But they are.
They do get
they
do become challenging. But besides that,
I agree with I agree with Chungus.
They're just tedious. And then they get to a point where it's like, is this even really worth doing for a 5% increase? I know it's it's more than that.
But it's not. And here's the reason why. Is because is it a hard game to level up?
No.
Yes.
No.
Oh, but hold on there, Sparky. when it comes to this game, you are a rook. And you've said so yourself. So you haven't scratched the surface on anything yet. And I'm not saying that in a derogatory way, by no means, because I consider myself a seasoned player of that game, and there are things on that game that I am just learning for the first time a year later.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you, that's like any Bethesda title,
But
because there's always stuff that's like, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's, it's unique. It has its own personality.
like when you start the game, you get the Frontier, right? The Frontier, and I've said this on Thirsty Thursday, and I've said this on Talking Tuesday, that the Frontier is a good ship.
That's
when you start it.
It's a good starter ship.
No, I'm not gonna lie to you. My playthrough, I used nothing but the Frontier.
Yeah, and I
told you that.
And I saw Fireball was starting to do that, and that's when I showed him some other things. The reason why I say that is because to be able to level up, and this is what I love about this title, they force you to get into that better ship. Now, the downfall to that is their shipbuilding in that game is weak. The way that you have to upgrade your ships, that's weak too.
Yeah.
Because you have to go to shipbuilding.
But you can also create some pretty unique things.
Maybe on the console. On the Xbox, not so much.
He meant PC. I knew what he meant. I'm pretty sure other people knew what he meant.
What's that?
You said on the console.
I said you play PC.
You didn't.
No, you said console.
Regardless, I knew what he meant. He knew.
Okay, yeah.
He was trying to say what he
Yeah,
said.
that's why I looked over at
He got it backwards.
I was like,
yeah, whatever.
I knew what he meant. It's fine.
Maybe on the PC, which you play, maybe you can. On the Xbox, you cannot. That's one of the biggest community bitches right now out there is the shipbuilding. Because I'll tell you right now, in my playthrough, I decided to focus less on the artifacts and constellation and focus more on setting myself up and exploring other parts. But where I have the advantage that someone who just goes out and buys the game at, what they don't know and I do, is that constellation, getting these artifacts, you could literally do it 2 hours. It's not going to take you long from the first time you get an artifact until
you get the final one.
Until you get the final one and you become Starborn.
So, piggybacking off what you've been talking about with the doing side content instead of the main content, Bethesda titles typically have some fairly short main storylines.
Yep.
I mean,
it's the side quest that, or
it's the world building and the atmosphere that they put into the game that really makes the game.
Yep.
My main issue with Starfield is that it feels empty. It feels soulless. It feels lifeless.
Well, it does.
It does.
Well,
when you're comparing to other Bethesda titles, you have these random world encounters you can experience, which you can in Starfield. I'm not saying you can't, but it's the way that it's set up, the way that it's organized, the layout of everything. It just feels so.
Would you believe
robotic?
Would you believe? No, it feels anything but robotic. Would you believe me if I told you that I played this game? My last playthrough, I probably had 2 or 3 months time on, and this new one that I just started, about 3 days or so. I have yet to encounter the very last faction.
Well, yeah. Again, there's a lot.
I just found
there's a lot story to Starfield. But what I think Chungus is trying to say is
it's not good.
The NPC.
It's awesome.
Go ahead.
It is beyond awesome.
Go ahead, Fireball.
For me, and this is just with the very little that I played. To me, the NPCs feel more like Skyrim, very buggy, and they don't interact with you unless you talk to them first. And in games like Fallout, especially in Fallout 4,
you say Skyrim. You've stated you've never played Skyrim before.
I've seen people play Skyrim.
Yeah, but that's not a good description because Skyrim actually has life. No, I wouldn't say life. They're hit or miss NPCs because they'll repeat dialogue. Yes, but if you're walking past you, if you've done a certain quest, they'll be like, "By the 9, is that Azur's star? I've never seen an artifact like that." And you have never met this NPC before, but in the Skyrim universe, I'm
about to blow both of you out.
You are recognized by the achievements you do throughout the game.
At the end of Starfield.
At the end. That's
by the end of
Go ahead.
Starfield, the NPCs start doing it.
That's the issue.
The end.
I said by the end.
Yeah.
I'm not giving up anything because you haven't been through it all.
I'm not gonna get through it all.
That's your problem.
You're saying it does that.
Eventually. I think
Eventually.
Starfield is a superior game to Fallout 4. Heads and tails.
In what way?
You have a lot more to do. Whereas in Fallout, everything is already given to you as far as where you can go. There's not much to discover in Fallout. There really isn't.
You also haven't played the DLCs of Fallout.
However, in Starfield, how many ships are in Starfield right now?
Ooh, probably
that we know about.
That we know about?
Yeah.
I'm not even sure, but I'm
315.
I was going to say about like 100 or so.
No, 315.
Okay.
How many planets are out there?
How many habitable?
No, go ahead.
No. No, because habitable doesn't matter anymore.
It doesn't matter. You can go into
you can go on the harshest environment and make it work.
How many planets? Because
I don't even know how many. I haven't counted them all.
But what's my point in saying that it is soulless, lifeless, not necessarily habitable or anything like that? But you go to these planets to explore them, and then there's nothing. And Fallout, you'll go to areas that don't seem like they're going to be
anything.
Nothing.
Every planet has something.
You're conflating my
no.
Listen, because you're taking me at word for literally saying nothing. When I mean nothing, I mean there's no quest lines tied to it. There's no interaction there.
Really?
You just go mining. You have some wildlife more than likely sometimes, but other than that, there's nothing really to do.
Now, if you go to a moon, you're completely correct. If you go to a moon, you're more than correct.
And the moons are considered celestial bodies that are
yes,
within there.
Yes.
So that's
but if you go, for just a minute, use what we all learned in public schools. Mm-hmm. And I know that's not much. But when you have an actual planet with life forms, with vegetation, there is a very good chance, and I'm going to say a chance because I don't know what the actual number is, that you're going to find somebody on that planet. Just like with Fallout, when you go into a damn cave or you go somewhere, there's a slight chance you're going to run into someone that is going to need help. It's not a quest line, but it is a quest to give them either a med pack, a trauma pack, or an emergency pack.
I think what Chungus is trying to say, though, is in Fallout compared to Starfield, you can go to some of these planets and there's no trace of anything on it. As if you were to go to some unnamed location in Fallout, you could see like
how many planets have you explored on that game? I'm just curious. I'm not I'm not being an ass. Because there's not one planet, not one moon
20?
that I've ever been to where it's just lifeless.
Well, to also put that into perspective,
you always have
how many have you gone to? Because there are over like 200 planets.
Well, what I'm also trying to say is,
and that's, mind you, that's just coming in onto planets. There's still the moons to go about.
Yeah,
there's even more.
I would have to say, I would be willing to say 60%. I'm about halfway through the map right now.
But what I'm trying
half of the map is now white instead of red.
What I'm trying to say though is you can go to the planets. They might have people on them. It's very spaced out.
Yeah, like, good.
You can have
empty.
Yeah, it's very empty. As in if you were to go to Fallout, they have stuff there. They have like unnamed locations that have some sort of story to it. You're not just walking miles on end to go to the next named center.
You're looking at the total number of space that you can go and look at does not equate to it is good space to go and look at.
You can go to almost any moon, almost any planet. Mm-hmm. And I say almost. There's probably a couple out there that have absolutely nothing on them. And I'm not going to say that every planet has something. But to answer Fireball, every one of these has an abandoned mining company, an abandoned research facility, an abandoned camp, an abandoned something has a story behind it. You just have to look for it.
No, and I'm saying that's not what I'm trying to say. Going to that abandoned stuff, yeah, that's cool. But when you're walking on the face of the planet, trying to just walking on the planet, and all there is barren landscape, and there's nothing. Like let's say I land. Hypothetically, I know there's nothing really on Earth, but this is the one that comes to mind. You land on Earth, you drop in at one of the abandoned mining companies. You explore around, you look at it. There is something on the way other side of the planet. You could fast travel there. I'm not sure if you can just fast travel there. So then you have to walk there.
Nope. Don't even have to walk. Get in your buggy and go.
That is the buggy.
Okay.
If you didn't know. But that's besides the point.
Actually, it's not.
No. I'm saying because you're not speaking for the majority of the player base, in your opinion.
Player base of what?
Starfield.
Actually,
no, you're not.
This is one of the. I've been doing a lot of research on this,
and I have been too.
And
because the biggest
we're looking at two different fan bases then.
Because the biggest issue with this game, dialogue, story, and the fact that there is a overwhelming empty presence within the game,
and they're filling that presence.
They're starting to.
Okay, what do you want? What do you want from a game that is only a year old?
I want it to be.
What do you want from a game that's only a year old with no story behind it?
I want a game that
launches with the shit that it said it's going to.
The shit that it's what?
The shit that it's going to.
It did.
It didn't.
No.
It started to. When this game launched, even we have close friends that are very big Bethesda fans.
Yeah. I'm one of them.
They couldn't even stomach this game at launch. This game at launch was not even worth the $50, $60.
You got two types of players out there. You got players who actually love Starfield, and you got players who don't. And I agree with them when they say the story is bullshit. Bethesda has a lot of work left to do on this game.
What Chungus is trying to say is it's the same thing that happened with Fallout 76. They did not launch with what they said they were going to launch.
And that's I will say this. That's not a fair comparison. 76 launched in a way worse state.
Yes.
It's not even
comparable. At least you can play Starfield.
You could at least play Starfield and not get fucked up a lot. There were bugs, game-breaking bugs, sure. Some of the balancing things they're a little bit wonky, and they've gone through and they fixed that and they updated it. My issue is I wanted the game to launch in a state that actually had more, because I'm the type of person who wants to sit down and enjoy a game. If I cannot sit down and enjoy that game at launch, I'm not going to come back a year later and try to play it again.
Again, this goes back to our argument on Thirsty Thursday with lazy writers.
I'll be honest with you. There's rumors that have been going around since this game launched and everything that the writers for this game, like it feels like it's AI. It does not feel like there are actual writers behind it.
I think the storyline for the first time through, I think it's a decent one. It's not great by any means.
I'll say this.
It's decent. It's kind of boring at times.
I will say this. At least it's different.
It is different.
And
at least it's different.
They do tie in at least the other two big factions in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So Constellation forces you to go meet the Freestar.
Mm-hmm.
The Freestar forces you
to meet Crimson Company or something.
To go meet. Oh no, it's the UC that forces you to go meet the Crimson Fleet.
Mm-hmm.
So, in that respect, this game makes you have an introduction with the other big factions.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm almost certain that I just haven't played the right path yet, and that's why I can't find this other faction that I see them all the time. I'm killing them left and right. I just haven't found
they're staying away from you.
Where to do. Well, it's the same way as the Crimson Fleet. I sat there and I grinded to get up to ship level 4
mm-hmm.
to get a good vessel.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as I trigger whatever I have to trigger to where UC SecDef comes after me, arrests me, and then I have to go on that whole Crimson Fleet shit, I'm still going to be knocking out Crimson Fleet. But then they kind of forget about it when I go to the key. So I really like how the quests kind of make you go into that. The part that I don't like is how confusing the economy is, how confusing the base building is.
Mhm.
The way they set up the planets, in my opinion, you can have 6 outposts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just 6. The further you get down in your perks, then you can go to interstellar.
Mm-hmm.
You definitely need all of the fucking minerals that you can find.
Yeah.
The best thing is to find a planet, and this is another pain in the ass part that Bethesda did. You have to find that little knuckle to where you can land, put your outpost, have aluminum on one side and lead on the other.
Mm-hmm.
You'll never find one with aluminum and iron. Not going to happen. The two that you need the most.
Mm-hmm.
But these worlds are not empty. By no means. There are caves to explore. Part of being in space is the exploration. You have to take this game at what it is geared for, and you've got to drop the comparisons to Fallout. You have to.
You can't.
Because you can't compare Fallout to Skyrim, can you?
You can't.
You can.
No,
Absolutely.
you can't.
Yes, you can.
They're 2 different games.
They're not 2 different games. The only reason that
Yes, they are.
The only reason they are different games is for the sheer fact that one uses guns and is set in a different timeline, different universe, and the other one uses fucking magic and swords. That's not different enough.
And in
to
this
not
one,
be compared,
you're going to space.
But it's not different enough.
But
to
you
not be
cannot
comparable.
compare.
I can absolutely compare.
No, you can't.
The game devs, the developers who made this game, are the same ones who have made the other Bethesda titles. And the reason I can
They're
judge
taking
them,
you down a whole another
hold on.
path.
Let me finish. Firstly, I can judge them because they're the same people who have made the other games. I can judge them based off of the writing. I can judge them based off of the decisions they've made to change the mechanics of how you level up. Every Bethesda title does it different. 3 in New Vegas were basically the same because they were made within a year of each other.
Mm-hmm.
But they've tried to innovate and change. Now, whether that change is good or not, that is up for debate in terms of mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of, you can judge these games based off of the world building, the dialogue, the quests, like story-wise, the quest design,
engine.
Everything like that. And that's not just the engine. That's just the whole game. That's part of the whole game. You can try to say it's different, but that's a part of the game.
The big thing that I took away in the little bit of time that I played, the gunplay is almost the same as 76.
No.
It does. It
has similarities.
You cannot rely on, again, it's the big thing.
VATS.
Yeah, it's the big thing
No
that I
VATS
said
at
about
all.
Between 4 and 76. You can't rely on VATS. You can't slow down time and pick off a shooter at a time. You actually have to go in there and actually fight. You have to fight. You don't have a cheat code, basically a cheat code like VATS is.
I mean, you say that, but VATS is also limited because you have to spec into it to be able to use it more often and more efficiently. So saying VATS is a cure-all, that was true for 3 in New Vegas. That was a cure-all. You could abuse it. And 4, it's a bit different because you're limited AP. You can only upgrade your AP if you take the perks for it or go into agility. Yeah. And that makes it better, right? But there's so much. In 4, there's a bigger diversity and dispersion of your skills and what you can actually spec into. In Starfield, I've looked through the perk tree, looked down further. Yeah, there's a good dispersion, but in order to get there, again, we're going through the tediousness of getting to those points. And in 4, I like 4 the best for leveling up because you just do what you want and get the XP for it.
Hold on. The only tedious thing about 4 was the fact that if you wanted a perk down lower,
you have to have your specials high.
You have to level into your special in order to get that.
And that's not even really. That's not. And I'm not saying that's not tedious, but it's not that tedious because again, doing almost anything in 4 gives you XP.
Okay, I think, and what's the next thing here? Okay, just go on to that because we're way off of what we're talking about. The main difference and why you guys are dinging the perks in this game compared to, and I hate comparing this to Fallout because there is no comparison.
Well,
hold hold on, Fireball. Let me make my daggone point before you come all at me. In Fallout, when you beat the game, what's there to do?
Base building.
Okay.
Side quests.
After you get done with the side quests,
you're done.
DLC.
You're done. After you get done with the DLC, what happens? When you get done with everything, what?
No.
Hold on.
Because yes, there are repeatable quests like with Preston, gives you another settlement needs your help. He's not talking about that.
No.
If you do literally every single quest that once it's done, it's done. There's nothing else to do. That's what he's saying.
So that hold on, no.
Go ahead. I'm saying,
but when you get to the end, and you're sitting back thinking, you're like, damn, I should have done B or I should have done C. Well, fuck. Now I got to restart the fucking game and go through all that ass pain of going back through the storyline with no perks.
That's
with none of. Hold on.
I'm let him finish on this one.
With you're literally starting as a green player again.
Mm-hmm.
In Starfield, you get to the end. You get through all the stuff, right? And you go ahead and you get that last one. You go
through the Star Citizen process, yeah.
And then you cross the fucking bridge, and you become Starborn, right?
Star Citizen.
You can venture off to the. Hold on before I do that. So this is a spoiler alert. I'm sure everybody out there, you have played this game, you beat this game, you've done whatever.
And if you haven't,
however, if you have not, we're going to pause for 5 seconds. When you see my thumb come up, go ahead and turn on your sound. We're going to pause, mute us. Okay, so now, when you get to the end of the game, when you get that last artifact, and you're going over that thing, they will sit there and they will tell you how Sarah came out, that she's grieving you, and all this other shit.
It's like every game. Yeah, like
that Constellation is doing great, the Free Star is doing great. Then you go over to the other side, the screen goes either white or black. I can't remember now which one. And then when you wake up, or when it comes back, you don't start in the mines with Lynn.
No, you start back at Constellation.
You start back at Constellation. However, you have to go through all the quests again. Everything is wiped out from your previous gameplay, except for your perks. And you get the Starborn Guardian. You have the Starborn Get Up, and I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think the Starborn is all that fucking powerful.
Right.
Because I blast through again to get enough credits to buy something else because I can't stand that damn tadpole. But that's what is setting Starfield apart from Fallout in my eyes. And that right there, once you sit down and you take all the bullshit and you boil all the bullshit out of it, take your feelings out of it, that's when you start noticing that's why you can't get some of these perks, that you can't just run down that list on the first playthrough, because it's not set up that way. It is set up for multiple playthroughs.
So it is. You're correct in that. But that's the issue.
That is not the issue.
I don't want to have to start over, and not necessarily start over. I mean, story-wise, start over. Because I want to play in the world that I, as a player, have helped to cultivate and create. After you get done with whatever main quest you do, let's say Fallout 4, you can keep going with the side quests.
Yeah.
If they're not faction-specific, you can keep going with them. So you can go through the world, keep going with the experience that you have gained from the main story and still help the Wasteland.
Yeah.
That is what I like, because you can keep progressing.
And you can do the same as Starfield.
You just said you restart all your
No, hold up.
You restart all your quest stories.
Yeah, you do.
That's my
But you don't have, you can ignore that last, because literally that last mission, it's kind of bobo if you ask me. Because you run to this other place, there's hardly any enemies. You drop them, you grab that fucking artifact, you take it back, and it's done. But if you ignore that entire world that you have built,
still there.
Still there. You still have repeatable quests that you can go on.
But the way you worded
it,
Chungus.
I know. I worded it poorly.
The way you worded it was.
I know how I worded it.
Okay.
We don't have to go through it.
But
I just said.
But
I'm going to say, but that's still. I'm just to be devil's advocate, be a little bit of a dickhead. That is a quest, and you have to complete that in order to finish all the quests. Fallout, you keep your progress with the storyline, your perks.
But then it's boring, and then you have to start over.
But that you do, and that's the whole point of playing through the game again, because now you can make different decisions with a different build. There's more variety you can do,
and you can do the same thing with Starfield.
It's not a different build.
It is
too.
You still have all your perks.
So
that's not a different build. You still are spec'd into that other build. Now you can.
You're not spec'd into any build actually,
because you can respec. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I get that, but
that's not my point.
They're not really specs.
Like, the reason I like
they are
not really.
They're literally different tabs for tech, pilot. Like there's different.
Yeah.
That's a specialization.
Yeah.
That's a spec. You are specking into that tree.
But you cannot access. I like the way they did it for this one reason. In Fallout, when you've done something absolutely effed up and you want to go back and redo it and respec and redo whatever the hell y'all want to redo, you have to start all over. With Starfield, if I screw something up, I just blast through Constellation, become Starborn again, and go back and redo whatever.
Gets all of his skill points again, and he can respec. Right?
No, you keep all your skill points.
No, what I'm saying is the perk, you still have your points you can spend, but the perks are wiped out, and you can just take those skill points and do a different.
No, everything stays the same.
It's still equipped.
Oh.
You can just respec.
It's not even a spec. You don't spec anything.
Do you understand what the?
Yes, I understand it.
Then you do understand.
But most of these things in Starfield is they don't work the same as perks do in Fallout. They just don't. There's a couple that do.
Most of them do.
Okay.
If you have anything to do with your weapons, most of the
you need this perk to craft mods. You need this perk to do more damage. You need this perk to do specialized melee attacks. That's the same as
Fallout.
That
Not
is
really.
And
you only have one of them. Fallout, you have a whole goddamn list of
tiers because there's more to do with the weapons. There's more customization.
I'm gonna say this. Nope. I enjoyed the way that they have the challenges set up for Starfield.
You do, and I don't.
Get 50 kills with a ballistic weapon to get your next hero off.
That's awesome.
I like that. That's really cool.
That makes you work for this shit.
I'd rather just earn the XP and just unlock it whenever I want to.
But it's almost
here's a participation trophy.
It's not a participation trophy.
But it's also
it's literally called
you didn't work for it.
XP. I did. I earned the XP.
Guys,
you didn't work for it.
Come on.
Let
me
go.
It's also the same in Fallout. Because if let's say I want to spec a tier into Gunslinger. Mm-hmm. Okay, I can get level 1 Gunslinger, but I have to wait until I get to a certain level again before I can get level 2 unlocked, level 3 unlocked. It's pretty much the same.
Your time game.
Yeah.
It's something for Starfield. It's something else to do to get to that next level.
It's almost like go stub your toe over here. That's the participation trophy. You're not spending the time.
Oh, you're not spending the time.
No. Because it doesn't take a lot of time to get some of these fucking challenges done. You can easily get these done if you know how to play the game correctly. And I'm saying this, and I'm going to say it in the manner, and it's going to sound rude at first. You are not the most skilled gamer.
In Starfield,
you are not. I can guarantee
amongst us three?
I can guarantee you.
Amongst us three.
I can guarantee you. Chungus will probably. I will absolutely. If I spend the time that you have spent
spend the time,
I will be better than you in every single aspect. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm just saying that in the sense
I am exploring other options in that game.
I understand how games function and how they work. I can break them down onto the mechanical level, i.e., like what actual perks you should take and anything like that, and become the most efficient in any game. It does not matter.
Yeah.
My point in saying that is in the sheer fact that Fallout 4 specifically is inferior. It's not. It has an absurd amount of perks and things you can spec into, builds that you can do. It has it all. Starfield is lacking in that department. It is lacking
I think Bethesda took a step forward with.
They took a step in making it more mainstream. They took a step forward in making it easier.
No, it's anything but easier.
It is
Starfield. The thing is,
anything but easier.
the thing is,
Wait.
what I have, and I think this is what Chungus is trying to say. When it came to the Fallout games, there was a niche in the game of what you wanted to do. You wanted to be a melee build, you could be a melee build. You wanted to be a pistol build, you could be a pistol build. I think what he's trying to say is you can't get that in Starfield.
Because that's not Starfield.
And that's the issue.
That's one of the
literally
okay.
And we've talked about this with 76 and the Fallout series, that they can change things, and that's their decision to change things.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that that's not.
This game is not post-nuclear.
But
this game is an exploratory game.
You had the same thing with.
I'm going to say this: all open world RPGs are for exploration. That's the whole point of the game. To say that Starfield's unique in that regard, it's.
I didn't say they were unique.
No, but you're making it seem.
But they're not Fallout.
But it's
you cannot compare the two.
You're not getting what I'm trying to say though.
What?
In every single Bethesda title, you have a niche of what you want to play as. In Skyrim, you could be an archer, you could be a wizard, you could be a vampire, you could be whatever. In Fallout, you could be a pistol gunslinger, you could be a heavy weapon.
Yeah, we know this.
I don't get that in Starfield. All I get is you can have ballistic or you can have energy.
Okay. What else? Or you can go melee. You can go with your hands. You can go with a knife. You can go with a UC sword or a UC sword.
I mean, I don't get that from Starfield.
There is a whole nother level to Starfield.
I don't get a
because then you get into
group in Starfield that I do with any other game.
Because in Starfield, another big part of it is your vessel. You have to have it. And then once you get into your vessel, then you start opening up all this other stuff.
I will also say there are skills for different weapon types, Fireball. So they do have stuff like that in Starfield. It's not as impactful. It doesn't make much of a difference.
No, because your ship is what?
Because, again, at the end of the day, I'm not saying you're wrong that it's different, because just like Skyrim is different from Fallout, you can still compare them. You can still compare every single game to another game, because that's literally how you can judge something. Because there are things that are just objectively set to a standard that they need to meet in order to actually be considered good, and they have not.
They have
not met it,
and they are starting to exceed.
They have started to they are starting to meet it now. This is a game that if this game launched like it is currently with the new update and the DLC that they released, if this game launched the way it did right now in last year, I guarantee you this game would start to be a success.
It's already
no.
It is already a success. It's already popular. It has its followers.
It has its niche followers.
Yes. I saw the greatest comment out there. Okay. It's either you love Starfield or you don't. That is the same mentality with any game.
So I'll ask you
this.
But
I'm not comparing Mario to fucking Final Fantasy.
That's because
those are two entirely different games. No. Those are two different games. One's a platformer and one is a fucking turn-based combat game. Those are two different games. Like, actually, when you're comparing first-person shooter when you're comparing an open-world RPG first-person shooter to another open-world RPG first shooter, they are in the same genre. They can be compared. You cannot compare Tetris to Minecraft. They are two different games. Starfield and Fallout are not that different.
One is better than the other.
You are absolutely correct, and I'm going to say it now.
Starfield
in terms
is much
of
better.
The world building, the dialogue, and just the overall life and passion, Fallout 4 is the better game.
No,
in terms of gunplay, base building, ship building, and fucking graphics, because I'll tell you what, Starfield looks a whole hell of a lot better texturally than Fallout does.
I will agree with that.
The only thing I don't like graphically about Starfield is that the colors seem a little diluted at times. It's drab. A lot of the color schemes are drab. I don't like that. I like my games to be a bit vibrant. With that being said, most Bethesda
me and Chungus were talking about when I was playing earlier today. is it looks like it's got that film of what COD Ghost had.
Yeah, but certain games have a niche like film grain that they pull over. Battlefield 3 had it where it was like blue and things like that, like a tint to the game or anything like that. And it feels like my eyes are a little foggy sometimes within Starfield. But that's for graphically, that's my only complaint. Everything else is great.
I'm gonna tell you.
I like the way. I'm not gonna lie to you. I actually happen to like the way the vendors work in Starfield.
Yes.
I like it a whole hell of a lot better than in Fallout 4.
I think I should switch us to likes and dislikes.
Yeah, you probably.
That's where we're at now.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I like the vendor system. I'm not going to lie.
The only thing I don't like about the vendor system is you've got general weapon. You like in Fallout games,
mm-hmm.
you can categorize everything together. You can sell with one vendor. There are certain vendors that will only sell or buy certain.
That's
things.
what I like.
Yes.
That's what I like.
Yes.
And I'm going to explain further on that. Why.
And you also have vendors out there that will. That's just like what you're asking for.
They do have a general store, but they have niche.
That is a step in the right direction for making the world feel more alive. And because you absolutely, they're like, no, I don't. Why would I take that? I make clothes. I don't need 7,000 rounds of 5.56 or 7.77. I like that because it just adds a level of complexity to the game that is needed. Now, again, that goes hand in hand. Like these are things that are issues from past Bethesda titles that they are learning to try to do better. They are still making mistakes heavily, mind you, still heavily. But I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat anything with anybody. Starfield, it's not a bad game.
It's a great game.
That's still too far for me. I'm now saying, because a great game to me is a game that has had almost next to no controversy.
Well,
and when I say no,
find me a game with that.
Okay, Black Ops 2.
They have plenty of controversy.
Black Ops 2 from 2012.
Oh well, not that one.
No,
exactly?
I'm going to say
I've never played it, so I can't tell you.
I'm going to say this.
Whatever.
I'm going to ask this now. Do you want me to specify games currently or games from the past? Because games from the past almost really rarely had controversy.
The only game from the past that I know that had controversy was Modern Warfare 2 in 2009. And that was because of the mission No Rush.
Somehow,
no. When I say controversy, I mean from the players,
Oh.
not from the media, because the media is always trying to demonize games.
Yeah, you could take that all the way back to Grand Theft Auto.
You can take that back to the early 90s, late 80s when they were
too violent.
Yeah. So my point's not saying that the media or anybody outside of people who play these games controversy. I mean like 76 levels of controversy where people aren't getting the shit that they paid for. Okay. Not in terms of just the game, but in terms of collector's edition.
I think the one thing we need to also talk about is what, in our opinion, defines as a great game.
That's what we're doing currently. That's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying. A great game typically is one that's not plagued with controversy. I can say Starfield is starting to become a good game.
It's already been a good game. No. It's already been a good game.
And again, we're talking about opinions, so I'm not going to demonize you for your opinions. But in my eyes, Starfield launched in a state that was reminiscent of 76. Not in the terms of like it's full on that bad, but in terms of like, man, there's really just like there's nothing.
There was plenty.
There was really not plenty.
There was plenty.
I can talk to a lot of my friends. And
but like you said, everything's an opinion.
And everything's an opinion. You're right.
Everything's an opinion.
But when you start getting to the point of
was the game playable?
The majority
was the game playable?
Yeah. So was 76 sometimes.
Did it blue screen on you?
Once actually, yes.
Maybe on PC. I can't speak for PC.
That's what I'm saying. So
I have never played anything.
That's what I'm saying. It was reminiscent to me of 76.
Maybe on PC, but
but we didn't play Starfield at launch. We didn't have an Xbox at launch.
We got it like a month later.
No, we got it in January. February is when I got it.
No, December.
No, it's not.
Because Kitty Pie was on vacation and I was playing it.
I could probably pull it up right now when I got it.
Pull it up right now. I'm going to tell you it's December timeframe. You're going to be eating your words because it's before January.
I mean, you guys probably did, but regardless, the game launched in September.
Yeah,
that year. So it was.
We were behind by about 2-3 months.
Months, plural.
But it wasn't January. I'll guarantee you that. But anyways,
that's what
I define as a good game
is if it's playable.
Is it one, if it's playable?
Okay.
2, is it easy to learn? Now, hold on.
Okay,
Hold on.
okay. No. I got
Is it easy to learn? Now, this is one of the dings I am going to give to Starfield.
Mm-hmm.
And 3, is there a lot to do?
In 3, Fallout 3?
No, not
He's going
Fallout.
off of
Point
what-
3.
He's
Point
going
in
off of
3. I heard
what
in
he
3.
has as a great
I
game.
heard in 3. Sorry.
Starfield launched.
Mhm.
It wasn't crashing every other fucking
For you, it wasn't.
20 minutes.
For you, it wasn't.
PC wasn't.
No. It's not
crashing
just
every 20
PC.
minutes.
It's not just console or either one. I'm saying, you again.
76 crashed damn near
Yeah, no. My point
3
is saying,
times a half hour. Now, hold on.
I'm going to interrupt.
Hold on, Chungus.
Because I'm going to interrupt this point now before it goes too far. Your experience with playing the game does not equate to the majority of other people playing the game. So if you didn't experience
But on
crashes or bugs,
social media, they're not reporting this.
a lot of people didn't play the game. Let me rephrase that. A lot of people didn't stick with playing the game. I'm not gonna lie, it was what, $400 million to make the game. They only made a profit of $200 million.
Yeah.
And in this day and age, that's
Yeah,
almost
bare-
not.
that's
That's barely
barely-
profitable.
And I was one of the people to drop the game. I'm not gonna lie to anybody. I
So
dropped the
you
game
dropped
for a
the
little
game.
bit.
But coming
But
back,
it wasn't because of gameplay. It
Mhm.
wasn't because of the graphics. It wasn't because it was dying on me. I dropped it for 2 reasons. One, another game came out that I historically play with my wife.
Mhm.
And 2, it was riding season. I was out in the world.
Mhm.
I was doing stuff on the motorcycle. Now that I came back and it's fall/winter,
And now that you came back almost, a year later?
not even a year later, no. I came back about 7 months.
Oh, seven months. So now that you came back 7 months with updates to the game,
Yeah, I think it's
you
amazing.
think it's better.
I think it's amazing.
You think it's great. Yeah.
The,
So my point.
the one part of it that makes it amazing for me, and again, it's all opinion, was that buggy. Because I will agree with whoever said it. I don't remember which one of you said it. I think it might have been
Walking
Fireball. Walking on a planet to explore it, I was like, oh my God, this is
I believe
absolutely
you know what?
horrible.
I'm starting to look at it more, and I'm starting to believe that was probably the issue people were having.
Yeah,
not necessarily.
that was horrible.
Traveling because it felt empty because it was taking so long to
Yeah.
get places. So it's like these huge spaces,
Yeah.
and there's nothing there. If you're able to expedite that travel, then that's
Mhm.
probably going to make it feel compact. And that's my point in saying this. These worlds aren't empty. They still aren't. They're not as full as they should be. And let me rephrase this. If the planet's not habitable, absolutely shouldn't be shit there. That wouldn't make sense.
That's an
But if the
extreme
planet-
environment.
But the planet is, I guess, if it's not habitable for humans, it shouldn't matter. There should be some sort of wildlife or something there. It would have been way better if they took the Mass Effect approach with it, where there's planets you can visit, other planets you can go to, a good amount.
I mean, you could honestly.
but the planets actually are fairly full.
At the same time, you could also I'm not saying you could fully compare it, but you can compare Mass Effect to Starfield to a certain degree.
Only in the aspect that you can travel to other planets.
Planet exploration.
Mhm.
That's what I'm comparing Starfield.
You go so much
Mass
further
Effect.
into depth with Starfield that it's.
But I want to say, before we run out of time, I want to say what I find as a great game that I like.
So you're going with depth. Have you even played the Mass Effect series?
Just a little bit.
He's played 3. He's played a little bit.
so-
Hold on, I'm not done yet.
so no.
You guys keep cutting me the hell
Go
off.
ahead. My point.
I'm not
the
done.
point I'm saying is that you taking a huge break in those 7 months is where they put time and effort to fix the issue.
Yeah, but
that's my point.
if I was not a writer,
Mhm.
I would never have taken a break. If myself and Sweet Kitty Pie did not play MLB The Show like we do, I would not have taken a break. That's a fact. However, I do ding Bethesda when it comes to Starfield. They have Fallout. They know how to make a base. They know how to let a player build what they want to see built.
And they know how to write.
They know how to do this for mechanics.
But they didn't do it.
And they failed to do it with Starfield.
And
And that was the one big head scratcher for me. Like when I walked into this game, I knew it was going to be different. I knew.
I'm just so
I knew
glad.
that the buttons would be different, that the buildings would look different. In fact, I was happy about that. But the building from the Fallout series to the Starfield series, or Fallout game, because I don't think there'll ever be a Starfield 2.
No,
I don't think
that's my
it'll
point.
ever happen.
Again, that's why
I think they're going to add on to this game,
yeah,
and they're going to keep adding on,
and
they're going to keep it alive, and they've got so much room to do it. But they do too. They have a huge universe.
I'm not disagreeing with that. I know I keep interjecting into your point.
Yeah,
and I'm sorry, but that was part of the reason why I brought up the revenue and the cost to make and everything like that. Because again, looking at a modern day metric, the game was barely successful, and that's an issue on Bethesda's part entirely.
Yeah.
From everything they did, I need you to know, going into this game, I was hoping it would be entirely different than Fallout. No, not just kind of different, entirely different.
I get a whole other feel with this game.
I get reminiscent feels of Fallout in this game, and it's for all of the wrong reasons. For all of the wrong reasons. I'm sorry. I really wanted them to do something entirely, like, completely different.
They did.
They really didn't.
They did.
They really didn't.
They created a whole new experience for you.
Yeah, in a way they did.
There's no VATS.
There's no VATS.
There's absolutely no VATS.
But there's no
and that's
VATS
awesome.
in Skyrim too, but that wasn't too dissimilar from Fallout in the way that it was structured and things. But that's my point. Is that it's similarly it's
going to be similar.
It's similarly structured. That's my biggest issue. I wanted it to be.
It's not going to. And you're asking for too much.
But we're asking for too much. This game was supposed to come out in 2030.
Yeah.
They pushed up its timeline and launched it way too soon. My point.
That's a Bethesda problem right there. It seems like they've been doing that with every title,
and they need to stop
the last 10 years.
Take their time, because this is it's a great concept of me.
It is. It's a beautiful.
I
was so excited for this game to come out.
I love sci-fi shit.
And then I got I got really pissed off when they decided, or actually they got bought, and then they decided, oh, Starfield is going to be exclusive to Xbox. That's one reason why I didn't play it on launch.
You didn't have an Xbox.
Well, besides that, but I wasn't going to buy one system for one game. That's dumb. And we could get into a whole other discussion about the console war going on right now.
No, we should probably let him finish.
Yeah, because I will blow the gasket.
He's about to
you
explode.
Son of a bitch to do it again.
So that's what I was saying. Go ahead.
But
anyway,
the motherfuckers, the building. You have a franchise that has experts on players being able to build in the game. Why the hell didn't they go and consult with them? Even if we got the shitty build of Fallout 76 incorporated into Starfield, it would still be heads and tails better than the shit we have right now for the build.
I like the building better in Starfield than I do in Fallout.
It's choppier.
It feels different enough.
It does, because,
and that's my point. That's the shit I want.
And it's fucking super small.
I want it to be so different that it doesn't remind me of their other titles.
But it shouldn't. Okay, it should be different like that, but it shouldn't be a step backwards.
That is true.
And that's what they did. They took a step backwards. Your set or your encampment or your base, it is small. Mm-hmm. 2, to get a landing pad, large one for the larger vehicles or larger starships, takes up so much room. And then you got to put up defenses to ward off all these fucking animals that will attack you, but you have absolutely nothing to encase it with. Yeah, like Aquila City has a fence around it, or has a concrete fence around it. New Atlantis, same thing. I think theirs is like metal or some damn thing. You go up north, and I just found this solar system, Achilles, I think it's called, but it's a whole settlement of nothing but ex-cons and whatnot.
I know what you're talking about.
In fact, it's being built, so I'm thinking Starfield is starting to. That's going to be another focal point further down the line.
With another DLC or anything.
Yes, that they're going to jump to there, which, hey, I'm all for it. I kind of that's the one thing Rockstar doesn't do that Bethesda's starting to do. You're seeing a build, and then in the next DLC, half of it's done, half of it's being built again.
That's something that I do appreciate them for, especially with 76, because you start to see that.
Yeah.
Updates that they added. But again, my issue is right now, currently, the game is okay.
I think
it's going towards a state of being good, and then it will be great. But I want us to remember, this is what Bethesda does. This is nothing outside. This is nothing outside of the ordinary.
I keep getting sorries.
You keep getting sorry, but I'm going to keep doing it.
I know.
This is nothing out of the ordinary with Bethesda launching something that's not in the greatest state of things and then working on fixing it.
We literally talked about this on Thursday, where I feel like the state of games is actually declining.
No, it is. I'm not disagreeing with you on that.
Like,
but I'm saying,
why is it back in the 90s, in the early 2000s, games came out and they were stable.
They were playable, yes. But they did.
Some of the greatest titles came out in that time.
I'm not going to disagree with you on that because you are correct. However, to state that saying stable is correct because they were playable. You could turn them on, they would work. There are games that did not do this.
Yep.
Because sometimes they fuck up or the cartridge would mess up. Issues like that. Or anything like that, but in those games, like Mario specifically, there are exploits, glitches, bugs.
Yeah, that's been like that since the beginning of time.
Yeah, and that's my point in stating no game is ever going to be perfect.
No.
But in the same sense that games now, I'm not disagreeing with you.
Yeah.
This is me just expounding on the point. Games nowadays, you launch and it's always game-breaking bugs or things that just don't work.
Yeah.
And that should not be the case.
It should be much better because
we are putting so much more money into this industry.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to you. The downfall of the gaming industry, and I know this is a little off topic, but it's a part of what we're talking about.
And we are going along to
it's a little long one.
Sorry.
Fortnite specifically with battle passes.
Yep.
In-game purchases.
Yep.
That was where it was the turning point.
Yep.
There was stuff like that beforehand. You could buy game stuff in game. That's okay.
Yep. They made it normal.
What they normalized it to such a degree that it was so profitable. That was the game that started the end.
Yeah.
On top of that fact that people went from there, a couple years later, we started going into lockdown with COVID. COVID lockdowns absolutely increased the market cap for the gaming industry. It is not funny. Can't go outside. You can't go to clubs, bars, movies, anything like that. So all of this money that was being spent on other things is now being funneled into the gaming industry. You have people who wouldn't play games before, like Call of Duty or anything like that, buy gaming setups, buy consoles, PCs, all of it, buy the games, put all this money into it. And that's where you see this big influx of streamers and everything. Oh, I don't know. I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
We got to come back.
I know. There's an influx of everything.
Yeah, we got to come back in.
It's just put too much money into the market. Now these people.
Yeah. Fuck you, Fortnite.
Now the gaming industry is like, oh, well, we can just put out slop and people will buy it still. And people still are, but people are starting to wake up and be like, this is shit.
And that's the other thing I enjoy about Starfield. That's the other thing I enjoy about it. There is really nothing in there to buy with your own money. They got mods now to where the modding community they're making a buck.
I'm glad you said that because this is something that's been a big topic with Bethesda games as of recent being within the last 5 years. Because you have the creations tab for Skyrim, Fallout, and Starfield. There are mods on there that you can get for free that are made by users. That's fine and dandy. There are creations that are what Bethesda would consider to be lore-friendly, accurate mods that only enhance what you can add to the game.
Yep.
It doesn't take away. It's not like something stupid like turning all the robots in Starfield into trash cans.
Yeah.
It'll be like different skins, things like that that you can buy. You spend money on these products, and they take like 20-30% off the top, and the rest goes to the mod creators.
Yeah.
Because and some of them don't, because they've hired some of these mod creators.
Yeah.
To work for them. That's
well, they
why,
have to.
and they have to, because they realize very quickly that, wow, these modders are doing a better job than some of our workers.
And you know where they notice that? Fallout 4.
Fallout. Oh yeah, they notice.
Because Fallout 4, you could, and I hate to go back to Fallout, but you can literally take Sanctuary and make that damn thing look
modern, like brand new.
Yeah.
There's that mod that turns it into an actual like settlement, and it looks like, oh, this was preserved in a dome.
Like
it's like institute level tech, and like
I can't say anything about the mods in Starfield because
you used to.
No, because I'm still on my rule of I haven't done everything on Starfield.
Mm-hmm.
So until I do everything, I'm not gonna lie. I looked through the mods. I looked through to see what the hell
you would want.
Yeah.
Just a window shopping.
Yeah.
Who doesn't do that?
I haven't downloaded shit. I haven't done anything. In fact, I know you have to spend money because of the stupid stars, but whatever. But I'm not playing with the mods.
Mm-hmm.
But what I really hope one of these DLCs comes out and they expand your landmass of your base.
That is the mod that is always needed in the Fallout. You're correct.
Yeah.
Expand.
No
build limit.
I hope that, and not even with a mod, this should be
a default.
And
I understand. Do you understand why they have a limit put in
on landmass?
On how much you can build.
Okay, build, yes. Landmass, no.
Are you talking about the buildable space?
I think he's talking about the space that you have out on your borders.
Yes, because for Fallout, I completely understand why it's smaller.
Mm.
But in Starfield, you are landing a goddamn Starliner on that motherfucker.
Yeah.
You can't get there any other way. Unless Starfield goes to what Star Trek should have been, where you have shuttles
that take you down from
which is like this big compared to this big,
mm-hmm.
that you pilot onto the planet, and then you get back on your shuttle and go back up to your starship. That's the way it really probably should be.
No. Realistically, if we want to get into that thing, in real life, that is how it would have to work because.
Well, I'm not talking real life.
That's what I'm saying. That's a whole thing to go into.
I'm talking sci-fi for entertainment in general.
That
is the accepted way of doing things, and it's not just Star Trek that does it. It is
Star Wars.
Star Wars does
it. They have a mix. Star Wars.
Orville does it.
That's a Star Trek like.
Yeah, that's like a spoof of Star Trek.
It is a spoof.
I know. I told him we were going.
It's a long.
We're okay.
You're okay. It's a long.
I know, but I still want to. I'm still on the whole. I want to talk about what a great game for me is.
Oh shit!
Hold on. Hold on. To be fair, you said you were going to do much talking.
I pretty much wanted to just be like, all right, it's just these two.
Sorry, I'm not gonna lie to you because we get into this thing. It's like I want to like the game so much. I really do. I want to give it. I'm giving it the chances that it needs to be given. It shouldn't be, because we've just talked about how the industry all that.
Yeah, and that
should be stuff that's already.
That goes back to what I was saying before. Rockstar's guilty of it.
Shot cards.
Bethesda's guilty of it. No. I'm not talking about.
He's moved on.
I thought you were talking about monetization.
No. I'm talking about in terms of just
laziness.
Product putting out
laziness.
This, and by the way, that's what I was talking about. Like, it feels like AI wrote, because the dialogue is so robust. It was. Let me specify.
Well,
I'm basing my experience off what I played before this update. It was robotic.
I won't say AI, because right now, the way things are trending, I think that when somebody doesn't have an argument against something, they automatically default to AI.
Sure. So my argument,
and I'm not saying that you're doing this.
Yeah, no.
But what I'm saying is I won't use that, because for me, it feels like a cheap cop out.
For me, I know the quality of writing that Bethesda writers can put out, and it's not bad. So when it's something that to me feels this bad, it's like there's no way they put their writers on it.
Yeah,
it can't be their writers. Maybe if it's their writers,
but at the same time,
that's crazy.
What I was saying is I have to give credit to Call of Duty. Who is that makes them? Activision?
Activision publishes, but there's multiple.
Infinity
things.
Ward, Treyarch,
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest with you. They're all working on the games together.
Yeah.
So it is just Activision. We're just gonna say Activision.
Yeah.
Because it's easy.
But I got to give them credit. They come out with a new Call Out or Call of Duty, what, every other year?
Well, that's because
Every 2 years.
Well, and you say every year, and that was before.
I mean, it feels like it to me.
Well, hold on,
but I'm not a fan of that series.
Let me actually explain this to you.
I got you.
So
I don't care really.
There were 3 companies that were working on the Call of Duty. You had Treyarch working on the Black Ops series. You had Infinity Ward and Sledgehammer working on the Modern Warfare series. And
Infinity Ward was Modern Warfare series.
Yeah, and then Sledgehammer did their own thing.
2014. The game series started in like 2000. That's
right.
Still like almost a decade.
There are 3 companies that would circulate what Call of Duty they're throwing out. That's why they were
for the last 10 years. Yes.
Yeah, that's how they were able to throw out so many Call of Duties within the 10-year time period.
But you say that, but before you had the same dev team making multiple Call of Duties. That's not an excuse. It's not. They were pumping out games like this before.
Okay, but back to my point.
Yeah.
Back to my point is they're still one of the only ones out there who are bringing you an update like every. For me, it feels like every year, and I'm probably wrong.
No,
it's like every other year.
You're really not right. You're not that wrong. You're not wrong.
Like it's to me, it feels like every other year. So every 2 years, they're coming out with a new Call of Duty
because they are.
But they're still bringing in revenue. I'm sure, and I'm not a big Call of Duty fan, nor do I play it that much. This new one's playable though.
I agree with you on that. This new one,
it's at least
very
playable.
This new one is very playable.
I can stomach that game.
Yeah,
but and I have not been able to say that in about 10 years.
He's fairly close. 2019 was like the last really stomachable.
Yeah,
Call of Duty.
Well, okay. When was the last Call of Duty? Besides the one we just got.
Oh, I mean,
was that 19 or
2020? So, dude, that's why I said you were.
I don't care if it's stomachable or not at this point.
The last Call of Duty before Black Ops 6 was Modern Warfare 3. And
the reboot of Modern Warfare series.
Okay.
2023.
But back to what I was saying. They're bringing, whether it's stomachable or whether it's horrible, that doesn't fucking matter too much right now to me. But what does matter to me
is that they're just pouring out the content.
Is that they're bringing out the content and let me ask you this question, and I don't need a big explanation on it. For the last 3 Call of Duties, could you do in-game purchases?
Yes.
You have to prestige your weapon up to the highest prestige?
No.
To do whatever.
What do you mean prestige up to the highest prestige? Because you can't do that in this one.
So
I don't know the system.
Do you mean buying weapon skin?
Buying weapons or buying a more powerful weapon and to be able to get a little edge by being a coiner?
Okay, the last pay to win
this one.
Call of Duty to come out was, I would say, Black Ops 3.
No.
Because you could buy crates.
They're still pay to win. You don't use the wrong verbiage.
Yeah.
Because you can take Daddy's credit card and go buy a weapon pack in this one, and you get a gun that you can't get until you're level 55.
That's what I was asking.
And yes, that's why I realized you were talking about with attachment on it that makes it really good.
Yeah.
You spend $20.
That's what I was asking about.
You can still do that. You've been able to do shit like that since 2015. Actually, realistically, 2012. Because the Peacekeeper was the best SMG.
So that
Peacekeeper was the first ever pay to win gun.
That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about Bethesda and Rockstar has fallen into this pit.
It's the gaming industry.
Well, yeah.
It's just all games.
I'm using those two because right now
they're the big dogs.
They're the big dogs.
Yeah.
But watch out because Activision or whatever the fuck they're called, they're doing something that Bethesda and Rockstar should be doing. Fallout 4 came when?
2015.
Elder Scrolls came out when?
Which one?
Whatever
or the new ESO.
Whatever.
Because ESO
I don't play it, so I couldn't really tell you.
The ESO came out 2018.
2018. When did Fallout 76 come out?
2019. Or
2019.
2019, yeah.
It was 2018.
Was it? And then I have it. Then sorry, ESO is 2017, and then Fallout 76 is 2018.
So here we are, 2024.
Mm-hmm.
Starfield came out in what? 2023.
September 1st, 2023.
What the hell did they bring out in 22 and 21, 20?
Updates for the other games.
No. I didn't ask about updates. That's not a game launch.
They didn't.
What game did they bring out?
They didn't launch anything.
They didn't launch anything.
Okay.
So I get your point.
So in that time frame, Call of Duty brought out how many games?
3.
Were they successful?
Yes and no. So the games themselves
moderately successful.
They're only successful because
Warzone.
No.
Of their fan base.
No, they're only.
They have a following.
One, they have a following. People are Call of Duty fans. Regardless of that, you mentioned in this time between 2019 to 2023, where we had COVID lockdowns, and I just explained why people were able to put money into games. So while I said yes, they are successful for that reason. If they would have launched without any of the COVID that we had, any of that bullshit, they would not have been a success.
I'd give them 20.
I guarantee you.
I'd give them 20 and 21.
I would not give them.
I won't give them 22 and 23.
I would not give them. I wouldn't give them any of the 3 years because you had Black Ops Cold War launch. That was a game that they made in 7 months. It was so poorly received. It wasn't successful even during COVID.
This is all I'm saying. For me, it is unacceptable. It's unacceptable to have a game go 10 years.
That's the thing.
It's unacceptable.
These games are not different.
Because
they don't take the time to make them different.
Even in the golden age of games. Now we're saying the golden age was
I gotta
go use the restroom, go do whatever. I'm not gonna make fun of you for this.
It's just gonna be those two for a minute. I gotta get up for a sec.
But what I was saying though is it is unacceptable to me to have a 10-year gap in it when what we all consider, and I'm sure most of the gaming community would say the same thing, that the golden age was mid-90s to, I'd say 2005?
No.
You bring it closer?
It would be 2000s. No.
I'd say 2005.
I'd say around 95 to about 2010.
Okay. Yeah, I'd go with that.
2010 is like
but they were
golden age.
They were pumping out games with different titles that felt different.
No, you talking about the gaming industry or Call of Duty?
I'm talking gaming industry. I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah. Because I thought we were
still gaming industry. No.
The biggest issue.
I was using them as an example of.
But they are where they're throwing slop out to the hogs.
Yeah,
it's not good.
But during that time frame, they weren't.
No, it was a hit or miss sometimes.
Oh yeah, I mean, you've had junk games since the beginning of time.
Yes,
but look at the volume of games during that time frame to now.
We're getting a lot more games.
What now?
We're getting a lot of shitty games. Yes, a lot of
shitty.
Games,
yes,
no, because a lot of games are coming out and you don't hear about them because they're just that bad. That's my point. Back in the day, you were hearing about games coming out left and right because they're all good. They're good. This one's good.
I know, but I guess what I'm saying is I agree with what you said with Fortnite breaking the system or breaking the industry because they did with the in-game content.
Yes.
With the in-game purchases. They broke it. So now all these makers, they don't have to bring a game out as often because they're making a shit ton of money. Welcome back, by the way.
Okay.
They're making a shit ton of money on that game. And that's where I'm liking Starfield more at, is because you don't have that.
Okay, I'm going to say this just so I could get in on the conversation.
Well, yeah, I was actually going to parlay back to you.
So, what I want from, and I was wanting to piggyback off what you guys were talking about with Call of Duty and stuff, but I couldn't really get in until I said what I look at as a great game. What I want from a great game is something that actually looks somewhat appeasing. Starfield has that. I want a story that actually not only does it make sense, but it's still pretty.
You feel immersed.
I feel immersed, and with me having ADHD, me being able to go, oh my god, this story's boring. Ooh, shiny. Still being able to be hooked on the story. That's what I want. I want, when it comes to multiplayer games as well, I want to be able to have a good campaign or something that I can do solo, but also something that I can do with other players if I want to do that. When it comes to like a game like Starfield or Fallout 4, there's a good story. I wouldn't say it's the best story. I'm talking like Nuka World, Far Harbor, that kind of story. When it comes to Starfield, don't really have any of the DLCs yet. There's only one DLC.
Yep.
But which none of us have played yet.
None of us have played yet.
I have.
You've played through the
Broken
DLC?
Space?
Shattered
Space or Shattered something. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
When it comes to Starfield,
we'll talk about that.
the only thing that I get from the campaign is go find these artifacts, and then I have to get hooked in onto the side quests in order to, or I wouldn't say side quests, but other faction quests or anything like that in order for the game to feel more interesting.
That's where I'm going to throw up a counterpoint, and you're going to.
Is my head going to explode or no?
No.
Okay.
Well,
it might be.
So you say more interesting, and as I've stated, I want to like the game so bad. Starfield.
Mm-hmm.
I do. It has. I have my opinion on it, and it has its issues. The main story for Starfield is boring. Correct. I'm going to agree with you on that. But the reason why I find it as interesting as I do, and that I like it, I just wish some of the dialogue was a bit better, or some choices were a bit better. It's interesting. It's unique and it's different. That's what I like about the main story for Starfield. It is not a repeat of Fallout 3, 4. Go find your familiar member. It's not a repeat of New Vegas.
Well, if you
go get revenge.
You should have let me. You should have let me finish my. I was gonna say, I liked Starfield for the fact that it didn't have the same trope as the other Bethesda games.
But you just stated it wasn't interesting enough to keep.
It wasn't interesting enough because literally the main story of Starfield is go find the artifacts.
I'm the way I'm stating the stories for the other games is breaking it down to its base of what it means. So yes, just go find the artifacts, but there is more to it than just that. Like there is for Fallout 4, because there is more. And we've gone in depth with Fallout before. I've stated with that, I do find the overall story boring, which I can do, but there are moments in the story that I find interesting, that are unique. Like for Fallout 4, the whole Kellogg situation, that is to me so interesting. I love that. There are moments sort of similar like that in Starfield.
But the thing is,
that's my point of where I keep going back to compare Fallout 4 and Starfield.
With the 3 or 4 quests that I've played on the main quest line for Starfield, where I'm at right now. Again, I have not played that much. Maybe I've been busy. I wish I had more time to play it so I could have a better understanding.
I know what the issue is. But go ahead. I got you.
My big thing is doing the main quest line. It was okay. Talk to somebody at Constellation. First, it was Sarah. Then it was Sam Coe.
Mm-hmm.
Go talk to somebody else. Go to a different star system. Go to a different planet. Talk to somebody else.
That's every Bethesda title.
And then go on a rabbit hunt, find it,
still not
and then go back. But again, that's every single quest that I have gotten so far. It's not.
Again, and as you stated, you've only been playing for 3 hours.
Yeah.
You have not.
I need you to know there is a lot more to do. And that's why I said your head might explode a little bit. There is a lot more to do than what you're spouting on, because you're hating on what you've experienced so far, but you haven't experienced enough to really form a full opinion on it. And not saying that you can't give an opinion on it right now, but a full opinion on it. Yeah. I've played it enough that I'm.
Have you done all the Freestar?
I got through the quest.
Okay.
So
I'm going to tell you right now, Fireball, I will agree with you on one thing. I don't think that Constellation quest line should have been the main quest line.
No, it should not have.
No.
The quest line that should have been the main quest line
3 stars
is the Freestar.
Or the
UC. It is. I'm not going to lie to you.
No, not the UC.
This is the Freestar Rangers quest line is, and as I've heard other people who have played the game talk about it, not just us, I mean, like overall, they say that is the most interesting quest that they've played in the game. There are others, like there's this. I don't want to get any spoilers, so when he goes to play it, or if you're going to continue playing,
I don't know if I'll continue to play it.
I think you should still. I think you should give it.
I think you should
try. Too. Stick away from the main quest. Experience the side quests.
Experience the side quests.
Yeah. Mainly,
I will do that then.
Mainly the Freestar, mainly UC, the Crimson Fleet, because they have the one thing Bethesda did do good is they kind of wrap all this into a nice tight knit ball for you. But if you ignore the Constellation quest lines, the game picks up predominantly.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you now, without giving much away, the ending of the Freestar Ranger quest line, that mission right there, be prepared, and you can't stop for at least 2 hours. At least.
But going back to what I want, what I see.
But that's real quick. Sorry.
You're being good at.
However,
man, you're really pulling me this episode.
I am. You're right. I'm yapping. But no, because you were saying like your issue is that there's not enough drive with the main story.
There isn't.
There's not. But when you look at it, there's not a lot of drive with any Bethesda title for the main story.
No.
You look. It's just been an issue they've always had.
Look at Fallout 4. I gotta go find my son.
Look at Fallout 3.
Okay,
look at Fallout New Vegas.
I'm gonna say this because this is what I liked about 4.
Mm-hmm.
When you get that first prompt to go to Diamond City, when you got done talking to Mama Murphy and you had that prompt to go to Diamond City.
Yep.
If you went straight there, you ran into a lot of conflict.
Depending on the route you took, you could actually only meet the super mutants as conflict.
Yeah. Starfield has the same thing.
No.
You think I'm literally telling you because you can choose to go back to Sanctuary with Preston, or you can go and explore. And if you're trying to follow the main story, go back to Mama Murphy. Actually, before you even go to Mama Mercy or back to Sanctuary, you talk to her in the Museum of Freedom.
That's where you get it. What I'm trying
and
to say.
You can go right to Diamond City.
Please let me.
Go ahead. I'm just letting you know.
I know, but every single time I try to get a sentence,
he's getting fireballed.
Oh, he's getting fireballed right
you start yapping. So
now he knows how we feel.
With you get done in Concord, you step out, you start following down the road.
Mm-hmm.
You run into Trash Can Carla. You run into the diner. You run into Concord. You run into I would say sort of Boston. You got to go across.
I think
that
I know where
bridge.
he's going with this.
You don't have to go.
Okay.
Far.
Okay. Shh.
Because again,
let him finish.
Go ahead.
You get conflict in the main storyline for Constellation. To the places that I've gone, I haven't really gotten any side conflict. You go to where they want you to go to. You land on the planet. You go to talk to somebody. They send you on a wild goose chase. Like even, I'm gonna talk about the one with the one where you have to have Sarah as your companion.
Yep.
You go to the planet. You talk to the bartender.
Yep.
The bartender sends you somewhere else. You go to that planet.
Yep. And you're saying there's no conflict.
Let me finish.
Okay.
You get there. You go to the Star Station. You realize that the Star Station has been
there's a lot of conflict.
Attacked. You start fighting there. Yes. But what I'm trying to say is like you go to the planet. There's no conflict. I want the fucking space conflict. I want the ship conflict. That is the biggest thing that I wanted from Starfield.
You have it.
I was very excited for the ship conflict.
The ship conflict comes like mission 1. When you have to go redo that fucking satellite?
No, you don't. You don't have to fight them.
No, if you do it the way that Sarah
you don't have
tells
to fight
you
any of the conflict you meet out on the wasteland either. You don't have to fight them.
Right.
That's my point. See, I understand your point, the point you're trying to make, but you're trying to hate on Starfield more than you are trying to make a point. And I don't know if Godfather would agree with me, but it's starting to feel like you are just trying to hate on it when you haven't experienced enough of it to really.
You're scratching the surface.
Because I get your point.
If you're making you make that.
Actually, hold up.
Hold on. No.
Hold up.
No.
Yeah, go ahead. Go. Hurry up.
The way you're taking it, you're saying, I haven't played the game enough. I don't need to have an opinion. I shouldn't be in this episode.
That's how you're feeling. That's not what I said. As I said earlier, you cannot make a fully formed opinion on it until you do play more of it. However, you can still make an opinion on it. So don't ever put words in my mouth like that, please, because I've stated that you are a part of this episode. Your opinion does matter.
I've been trying to say that with what I have played, with what I've been going and playing. And I have said some good things about the game.
Mm-hmm.
The gunplay is amazing. I love the gunplay. I love the fact that there are ballistic weapons, there are energy weapons, and we've had this conversation. You told me do not do melee. Melee absolutely sucks.
Melee does suck.
It does.
Okay.
Donkey.
So I love the Maelstrom.
I
love the Grandel. I love using these weapons, and they're absolutely fun to play. I love the enemy types you have. You got robots, you got people, you got bugs. Hell, my insectophobia was coming out a little bit when I had to fight those giant ass ticks.
Mm-hmm.
You wanted spaceships to fight.
I wanted, when they said you were able to incapacitate ships, you were able to forge ships, you were able to. I had a great feeling of ooh, this kind of reminded me a little bit of Assassin's Creed.
I think I know where it's going.
I enjoyed that. I also enjoyed the fact that you could run on low power and you could sneak past ships, the way you could in that mission. That was absolutely fun to me. The place where it really irks me a bit is you don't get that I wouldn't say forced conflict, but let's say, for instance, you do end up getting that 3v1 where you have to go to that. You can. It felt linear. I wanted.
Okay.
Hold on. I don't think you're making your point that you need to try to make, because you say linear. That's how a quest line works.
I wanted almost like a branching storyline.
It has that.
It's
kind of my most favorite games to play are the ones where your actions have consequences.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you get into a point, you get into a point on a game where, let's say you make a decision. This is why I like the Walking Dead Telltale games. This is why I liked Until Dawn. I like those games because you could make a decision and it would impact your game later.
Okay, let me ask you this question.
Why are you using Fallout 4, comparing it to Starfield, using that as it's not structured the same when it is?
Now, can I
go ahead.
There is absolutely a consequence for any action you take in Starfield.
Then I must have just not gotten far.
You haven't gotten enough.
And that's
you haven't gotten it because if you've
been trying to make
hold on. If you go out there and you attack a Freestar ship in Freestar space and you blow it out of the sky, good luck getting Sarah Morgan back at you. She'll go out the fucking air hatch on you.
That's the thing.
Sam Coe will turn on you.
Again, that's
all.
That's
I know,
out of the ordinary. That's
all of these people will turn against.
I think the reason why
you could be a pirate and not have any of that.
I think the reason why, I'm not so hyped about Starfield is I came into it thinking, it's going to be Spacefall, and I think that's where my problem is as it is I'm comparing a lot to Fallout.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to exploration, and this is another thing that I love, that I kind of define as a good game, I like exploring. I like looking farther into it. The way that you can explore vaults in Fallout. I was hoping you could do the same on planets. But when you land on a planet and it's barren and you've got an abandoned mine shaft, you've got 3 named places you could go to on a planet and the rest is just barren.
Yep.
That's the thing that's man, they really could have done more with this.
And it's only been out for a year. And I can guarantee you that most of this is barren because they're going to try and do the same thing that they've been doing with Fallout, with all these other games. They're going to drag this sumbitch on for 10 years.
But the thing is with this,
and I agree with where you're about to go.
And this is the one thing that they needed to put more into it, because if you go to one of these vaults in Fallout 4, let's go to the Kid Vault, let's go to the Addicts Vault,
it's already there.
That's already there.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have to wait for a DLC. You didn't have to wait for another content push on the game.
Well, I get where you're going, but I think this is the I think this is the world that we're going to find ourselves in.
It's just the industry we live in.
Yeah.
But hold on.
No.
No,
Let me
I'm
say
going to
this.
finish because I had a point to interject on your point.
Okay.
And this is just to go back on your opinion thing. I'm not saying don't make an opinion or don't have an opinion. I'm literally throwing at you. You're coming up with this complaint. I'm saying play the game more.
Okay.
You keep bringing up points. I'm just saying play the game more.
I'm gonna play the game more.
That's what I keep trying to bring up.
And this is you guys have persuaded me to play the game more. But I'm also gonna make up this point as well. Just like in Fallout, we have how many vaults in Fallout?
Mm-hmm.
How many planets do we have in Starfield?
Over like 1,000.
Yeah. What if you add some of these planets that have had like some sort of catastrophic event?
Why do we have to have a catastrophic event? I kind of like it the way it is.
So
I
understand the point you're trying to make.
So, like you have in vaults where you could come up on the vaults, you could see all these you could see these skeletons, you can pick up these holotapes, you can start to understand what happened and what happened in this vault. Why not be able to have some of these planets where you have some sort of catastrophic event happen, like let's say, for instance, Earth. The Yellowstone erupted.
Hold on.
No,
yeah,
I got
I think we're thinking the same thing here.
The Yellowstone erupted. That's why they had to abandon Earth.
Point 1.
Keep playing.
Play the game more.
Yeah.
Okay.
Literally, your complaint there? Play the game more.
Yeah, we're on the same page for once. Because we about exploded at the same time.
Point 2. And this ties back into the overall thing of I want this game to be so different. That's why there's nothing like vaults. I'm not asking there to be anything like vaults. No. That's my point, though.
It's a whole other direction.
It's a whole other direction. And I get the point that it's a whole other direction. My issue with it is that it feels too similar to Fallout. Well, it has its own differences. Still,
yeah.
But it's still too similar to Fallout that it's reminding me of Fallout, but I want it to be entirely different. And I want them to flesh out these planets more, like how they have in No Man's Sky. Where there's so many planets to explore. They have some life, some vegetation, some are just mining planets, things like that. I want that more so, and I don't want the spaces to be big and empty. If they're like, it takes you 10 minutes to traverse this area, that's fine as long as it's filled with things that I can look at and interact with.
Or get intel from.
I think the intent behind this, and I could be completely off base here, but I think the intent behind what they're doing now is they are still writing the story for Starfield. And they are still bringing out the lore. Like I can honestly see that some of these planets out there because to be completely honest, there's some planets I still can't get to. Okay, I got to jump to get to them, and by the time I get halfway there, I realize I have to go back and go get something, or I got to go repair, and I still don't get there.
That's the issue.
So I'm hoping
how early they release the game.
Yeah, because like
if they would have, again, in a perfect world where resources aren't wasted, and they dedicate time with these developers to actually develop one game at a time to really get shit out and done, so we can get a Fallout game or another Elder Scrolls game before I turn 30.
That's not going to happen.
The worst part is that's literally not going to happen.
No,
I'm gonna probably have I'm probably gonna have kids or a kid by the time the next Fallout comes out.
Yeah, but
that's crazy. I'm sorry, I know.
Krusty here might be retired by then.
Yeah, I'll have all the time in the world to play. But I'm kind of hoping that's what they're doing. Is it gonna suck? Oh yeah, because I do not see a Starfield 2.
But
I don't see a Starfield 2.
It's not, and that's my point in saying that wasn't as proper.
And there's so many planets out there. This is such a blank canvas for Bethesda.
Because again, it's an interesting concept of a world of a game. It just needs more. And I know why it needs more, because they didn't take the time to put more in.
I'm glad they did, actually.
I wish they would have. Because not only would have it been a successful game and we might have seen a Starfield 2, but it would have been a third pillar in the Bethesda's titles that is just enjoyable RPG, because that's what we're missing nowadays.
Would you rather it be like Outer Worlds?
Actually, yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
I would rather that game be shorter, but filled with things to do.
God, no.
And get through it within the span of like 10 to 12 hours, but it shouldn't cost damn near $60 for it.
Well, it's going to cost.
Hold on. I would agree with Chungus on that. I would want the worlds, and looking back at it, we talked about Mass Effect recently.
Yep.
I want the worlds to be built the way that Mass Effect is, where if you get sidetracked and you go to a world and you're like, oh, you could spend a good amount of time on that world and be like, oh wow, there's a story here you can actually follow. Instead of,
you can do that in Starfield too. You're just not far enough into where you experience
every single planet.
Not every. No,
he's talking about Mass Effect being every.
It shouldn't be every planet
of it being smaller. I don't care if you have 6,000 cajillion planets to go visit. If you give me 10 planets that are filled with content, I could care less.
And I think this is another thing where Bethesda really screwed up is they allowed you to go to every single planet.
Well, not yet.
Well,
if you can get there,
the world is your
you have 1,000 planets you can get.
Basically, the universe is your horizon. You can go wherever you want
if you can. If you can make it there.
If you can make it there, yes. They could have, if they really wanted to make a Starfield 2, they could have done the same. And again, I'm gonna come back to Fallout because Fallout is the staple of Bethesda's games.
That could be up for debate too. You got Elder Scrolls out there too.
You do have it is up for debate, but in terms of popularity,
Fallout
right now, it is Fallout.
Yeah.
Let me say this. What game series did they make a TV show for?
Not a good one, but Fallout.
But what I'm trying to say is
that's their money.
You could section off a spot in the galaxy where you could have Starfield 1 at. You could section off a section of the galaxy where you could have Starfield 2 at.
I kind of like how they did it.
I mean, they honestly, they could have done a lot. They could, if they wanted to make like you said, if they wanted to make another pillar of RPG, enjoyable RPG, they could have done that within the Starfield.
I'm honestly going to say this, and it's a detriment to the gaming industry because you have unique concepts that come out like Starfield. Again, it's a unique concept. I like it for that. I like it for its ideas. I want it to be better, but I've been spoiled.
We all have.
We've been spoiled by the gaming industry before, and we've just allowed this type of development cycles to just keep going. Yep. And that's why I say I want to like the game. I would love to support it more, but until they really fix some of the key issues that I find with the game, I'm probably not going to delve too much into the DLC.
I'm fully committed to this.
You're fully committed.
I'm fully committed.
That's all fine.
It's checking off every box for me.
It's not because again, I've played a great game, and it's like every game in the industry that's launched. It launched in a poor manner, but Cyberpunk, to me, Cyberpunk is the best RPG I have played in the last decade. And I can say that easily. Not only did I feel so immersed into the story and into the world, there was so much detail put into that game. It is insane. I love that game so much, but that's my standard. Games need to meet that standard.
Okay, so I think we have beaten this dead horse. We're at, man, this has got to be a record for us for an episode.
This is the longest.
Yeah, it's got to be.
It is.
I guess, we hit another milestone today, too, with episode 10. So, I mean, 10 episodes into this, into this journey that we've all taken, and I wasn't expecting Starfield to get like this, but
I mean, again, this is a short.
Is it a great game? No. Is it a good game? Yes. I would not put it into a poor category. Because there's no average. I don't have an average game.
I do. That is the thing.
I don't.
I've played so many different games that I have an average an average standard for games that, again, I'll agree with you. Starfield, not in the poor category.
No,
it is,
not at all.
When it launched, I would have put it in the port.
No, I wouldn't. I'm going to disagree with you.
You didn't play it at launch. That's my counterpoint to that. I did. I am putting it in the poor category at launch.
But you played it on
now,
the PC.
And that doesn't listen. Again,
The console was different.
For you, it was playing it 7 months after launch.
I didn't play it 7 months after launch.
He played it.
I played it 2 months after
Sorry,
launch.
We got
2
it.
months after
We
launch.
got it in January. We got
No,
the
we did not.
Yes, we did because I just
Oh
talked to
my
the guy
God.
I bought it from, and
Oh, my God. We'll talk after the show.
Regardless of that, you played months after launch on a console. Your experience is different. I'm going off of my experience and cultivating it with other people's experiences that had likewise
Well, either way,
anything. So that's why, again, it's in the poor
it's still in the good
launch,
category for me.
but it's in the okay category now. For me. I want it. Another couple updates, and it'll probably be in the good category. Once they get 2 years down the road, it'll probably be in the great category.
But I do want to say one thing, and I think you and me, Chungus, will agree. Fireball, you need to play this through.
I will play it through.
I
will promise.
I will say
play
you
this through.
you should stomach through to get through it because I
will
did,
start.
and it made me open up my eyes. To
I will make a
they've
promise
made
to this.
They've
I'll
made
make a
changes.
promise to this. I will drop the Constellation storyline. I will start playing the Freestar, and if I run into UC, I will start playing the UC storyline as well.
Because the ending of the Crimson Fleet and the UC is probably just as epic as the end of the Freestar. If not better.
And I'm gonna say this because we are at an hour and 45.
Yeah,
we
gotta
got
wrap it up.
This is almost an hour over.
Now, I'm gonna say this, and let's talk about it a bit because we've got our short form game that we're gonna be doing before we get to our next big game.
Okay.
So let's talk about our next short form game that we're gonna be covering, and then let's talk about our big game we're gonna
Why
cover.
don't you lead us into that?
So
Yeah, since you got these ideas.
our next game, our next short form game we're gonna work on is the Horizon series. And if I remember correctly, Horizon is what? PlayStation only?
It is a PlayStation. Well, it was a PlayStation exclusive until it came to Steam, but
PC Master Race.
exactly.
However, we are still kind of discussing what our next major game is going to be.
Yeah. If you honestly,
Hey, how about we hear from our
let's hear from the
audience?
audience.
Yeah.
What would you guys like
Yeah.
to see us discuss next?
Right now,
Let
No,
the audience decide.
Yeah, let them decide. Let's see
You
what they have to
guys
say.
give us the comment in the comments below. Give us what game or game series you would like us to discuss next.
and
we will
by,
work
what I
on
mean by
playing through
what
it.
I mean by
Yeah,
major
discuss.
game, because we like we said, we got our minor series, we got our major series.
Mhm.
Our minor series being 1 to 2 games max. Our major series being 3 games plus to a series.
Oh, multiple.
Yeah,
It's a multi-
God,
multi-
yeah.
multitude long franchise.
Yeah, you're talking
Like
like
the Max Payne series, that's a minor series.
Yeah,
and
There's-
Final
but like-
Fantasy is like your
That's
ultra
Fantasy-
major.
That's
that's major.
if we ever do the Final Fantasy series,
I want to.
I need you to know we're gonna have to one.
We're gonna have to plan that.
Yeah,
That's gonna have to be planned hard.
yeah, that's gonna
And
be
two, that's at least easily 10 to 12, 15
Oh,
episodes.
more than that. That's the granddaddy
or
of all
like
We
games.
if
can
we
talk
do-
about that game for like 20 hours.
Or if we talk about Assassin's Creed,
Yeah, games like that.
like we're gonna have to take time
Give
to
us-
actually
Yeah,
play
Give
it.
us what you want.
I want to hear
us
from
do.
our
Yeah.
audience. I don't care
We
what
have-
you have to say.
We
right
have
now.
we have Horizon series. That's going to be the next 2 episodes.
Tell us down here
But tell us what you want after that.
Yeah.
Let us know. It could be any. Heck, even if
on
you want
any
us
of our
to-
social media.
it could be Minecraft if you wanted us to do that.
Oh Lord, but yeah,
I'm just saying.
I don't care.
Any game.
Okay,
any
so we got games on the horizon. Let's next one.
It's thoughts around the Shire.
It is Thoughts Around the Shire.
That's thoughts around the Shire.
You Chuggus, you brought us in. You got to take us out.
That's
Oh, hold
true.
on. Oh, we forgot one thing today. Oh, we sure the fuck did.
What was that?
Hey, from all of us Nomad gamers to you, don't eat too much turkey.
Oh yeah, it is Wednesday.
It's tomorrow is
Tomorrow is Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
I don't recognize Thanksgiving because of political reasons.
Oh,
Shut up. God damn.
Oh,
So yeah, I was saying
gobble
hey,
gobble day.
get off that. I just wanted to say that. I just wanted to remind you gamers about that because
You know that's
motherfucker, knock it off.
You said it's Turkey Day.
But either way, that way, when you're doing your thoughts around the Shire, you know.
you know we
You know
are.
what?
we
It's
are-
mine now.
Hold on,
Stop.
hold on. We are an hour. This is probably something we should have said at the beginning of the episode and not an hour and 50 minutes
Well,
into it.
You are
shit.
so correct. However,
All three of us were
some
lasered
people
in on the episode.
Happy
Godfather.
Happy Godfather? Okay. Get two clowns out of my ear.
Oh, fuck,
You were
he's
talking-
singing it because I need a second.
Yeah, he needs a second. You need a second. You both need to knock it off.
No, what I was saying was
Shut up!
some of us were lasered in. Some of us were lasered into this episode. And yeah, I was like, Godfather.
Okay, so stop. Stop. This is what happens when you get damn near 2 hours into something.
Listen,
Stop.
Look at
Oh, shit. Okay,
All right, back to me.
back to him.
Jackass. All right, so very, very good episode, guys. Seriously.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
I
I
mean-
wasn't talking that much. You guys got a lot to say.
Well, you now know
Hey,
that.
there's
You know how it feels now.
I know what games you'll be able to yap on about for days. If you
What's
got
that?
there. Oh, you
Who's
know.
that?
Okay, hey,
Who's that?
hey, knock it off,
You
knuckleheads.
can't see us.
I know, but they can hear you,
No, they can't.
and you're distracting me. Knock it off.
Oh.
Oh.
So, I am gonna have talk Thirsty Thursday tomorrow.
Really? On Thanksgiving?
Hell yeah, Thanksgiving.
How?
Why not spend that with your family?
God's father.
Anyways, now back.
I'm telling Sweet Kitty Pie.
You can tell anybody you want.
You're getting
You
snitched.
can scream it from the top of the house for all I care. But anyways, I will be having Thirsty Thursday. I will not have a guest, sadly.
Yeah,
You know what,
because they're
I'll
spending
be
it with
there.
their family.
Because they're spending it with their families. Yeah.
Okay, I'll bring Chungus with me. But anyways, I don't have a topic on what the hell I'm going to do tomorrow night. I haven't given it much thought. I have been laser focused on this episode. Starfield to me is a rising power.
Access.
It's gonna be a good game. It's getting there. So Thirsty Thursday tomorrow. Then I'm back with these two knuckleheads on Saturday morning.
Yeah.
And
Next episode.
we're going to be doing another episode. I guess we're doing it on Horizon.
Yeah.
It's all good. I mean, hell, from here on out, I think we're going to be in some uncharted territory. At least for me.
That's uncharted for you. I played both of them.
I played Horizon during COVID lockdown.
I haven't played it yet, so it's Uncharted for me.
So with that, there we go.
Push it over.
Dumbass.
Yeah. I didn't have much to say. I guess
Thank God.
I guess everybody's happy about that because I guess I
Don't say everybody. Again, you're putting words in my mouth. I didn't say anything.
because I'm the yapper of the group.
I took over yapping.
We do not
Shit.
F1 League Racing will not happen this week because it is Turkey Day. Not for tonight or for Thursday night.
I mean, we don't get to see Fireball on the wall. Is that how you got your name?
That. All right. Settle down before you break a hit. Laughing over.
No, he's gonna go into asphyxia.
As much as I want to say that was too funny, that was funny as fuck. I love
I
you,
got
bro.
violated.
Yeah, that was you got
Violated.
you got violated. You know what? Might need to get you some aloe vera for those birds.
Yeah, no shit. And down goes Fraser.
Careful. Hey.
Oh, look, we lost Chuggus.
Oh, you beat.
Take it back to you. That way these guys don't have to see a black screen.
Whoa, hey, you can't say that on. You can't say that.
Is it because he's black?
No.
Yes.
Knock it off with you.
Hey, we haven't been able to clown much this episode because somebody's been laser locked in to this episode. But back to me. I'm gonna try to do more camel grinding as we can, and then I'll be back with these two. Chungus is having technical difficulties.
Yeah, because somebody threw something at me.
Okay, and he's gone.
Yeah, I had to. Somebody threw something at me.
Well, for the time being, I guess it looks like it's just the Godfather and Fireball show.
Oh, now he's gonna start yapping again.
But no, I'm definitely gonna play more Starfield. I might stream that as, hey, look who's back.
Hey, look at that. Yeah, you're done.
You're stop it.
Banned.
Get out of here. Chat, get rid of this guy. No.
Security!
I think it was a great episode. Again, Fireball. Play through it a bit more. Experience it a little more. And that'll probably change your mindset on it. And if it doesn't, that's fine too. That's okay. But I think it will change your mindset on things playing it more. You saw Monday. So my Modern Monday. This Thursday, nothing's going to be coming out. Thirsty Thursday's coming out because this
Hell yeah!
Godfather doesn't
want to spend time with
his family. And Friday is Good Friday. Or sorry,
Whoa!
Black
we got fast forwarded.
Black Friday. My bad. Can't say that anymore. But yeah, look forward to Saturday with another episode, and then Sunday you could catch another episode of my.
You just got really quiet.
Yeah, why are you getting quiet?
I get quiet when I get connected and close to the audience. I get sensual, you know.
All right,
calm down, Diddy.
Yeah.
Calm down, Diddy.
There's no baby oil within a 10-mile radius. We're good.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, Diddy.
All right, so either way, this is God's Father. I'll catch you on the flip side. Hold on, nope. No, you cut the damn audio out too, you jackass.
Hey, he's the tech guy.
Jeremy, knock it.
All right, guys. This is the Nomad Gamers. We're out.
We're way out. See you later.